Everyone, welcome to another Wildlife Wednesday. Jacob is still gone on his journey, and Trapper Jack is at his other job, and Professor French and Dr. Jarvis are on vacation. So today it's just Phil and I. And luckily, though, we have a little bit of a plan as to what we're going to show you today. So get ready for another Wildlife Wednesday. So I know that Trapper Jack has been really into talking about weasels lately, particularly the Mustelid family, and talking about some of the Mustelids we have down at the Nature Center. So I thought, in keeping with the Mustelid theme, I would talk about another mustelid that we have down at the Nature Center, one of the more well-known ones and a pretty popular one here in the state of Wisconsin. Let's take a look. The American badger is a member of the family Mustelidae, a diverse family of carnivorous mammals that also include weasels, otters, the pine marten and the fisher, and of course the wolverine. So here we got Wisconsin's coat of arms, and what we're going to be talking about today are badgers. Now, Wisconsin was well known. It was a state that had a lot of miners back in the 1950s. And we're known, as you can see there, you have a little badger right up on the state coat of arms there. And we're known as the Badger State because, much like the badgers, the miners would dig into the rock of the mines, similar to how badgers would dig tunnels in the ground and soil to build shelters and homes for themselves. Badgers have a reputation of being fearsome and tenacious carnivorous animals, which are two characteristics that make them very popular mascots around these parts in Wisconsin. They are carnivores, so they prey mostly on ground animals, ground critters that live in the ground, such as mice, moles, ground squirrels, and unfortunately, woodchucks. Now, when I say the Mustelid family, I'm referring to the scientific method by which we as humans classify other animals. So badgers are in the family F, Mustelid. Now, if we were to go a classification above family, we would go to order, or O. And the order that badgers are in is known as Carnivora, which includes animals like big cats, wolves, bears, hyenas, and seals. Now, if we were to describe badgers in a classification even higher than order, we would go with their class, C, which is class Mammalia, which, other than carnivores, includes herbivores and a number of different in-betweeners. Now, if we were to include a whole list of the classification, it would create a mnemonic, which would look like this. Now we have the class mammals, their order carnivores, and their family mustelid. And a good way to remember this is Kind Phil came over for grape soda. That's the Bethel Horizons version. Now, when it comes down to the badger's scientific name, their scientific name is known as Taxidea taxus. Now, these names, Taxidea taxus, is actually in reference to the G and the S on our classification board here. Now, the G stands for the genus, and the S stands for the species. And so whenever you hear the scientific name of an animal or plant, that's its genus and species name. And you very likely heard Jacob using some of these names in previous Wildlife Wednesdays when he's talking about all the lovely plants that we have here around Bethel Horizons. Badger mounds and tunnels actually play a significant role in ecosystem health and have a huge effect on soil porosity and composition. Burrowing, digging, tunneling, and scratching also has a profound effect on the health of some of the perennial grasses that grow out here in the badger's natural habitat as well. Another way badgers influence their ecosystem is by food caching, where they can drag huge bodies of the prey they're eating, sometimes animals as big as a cow, and they'll take it out into the prairie and bury it with soil. Now this creates what's known as a nutrient bubble, where grasses and shrubs will grow off the nutrients of the food cache that the badger has stashed. Badger tunnels also increase the replenishment of moisture in the subsoil and provide a place in the soil where elements like carbon, nitrogen, and sulfur can be reabsorbed into the earth. Hey, thanks again for joining us for another Wildlife Wednesday. Tune in next week to see what we'll be learning about then. And always remember, learning is cool. And don't you forget it.